Welcome to Smart Remarks, where there is no unemployment crisis. It's just because you're lazy! At least that's what my conservative email says. So something a little different this week at Smart Remarks. I got to read this to you. This is from a conservative who writes that I should really put this in my newspaper column, but that isn't likely now, is it? No, it isn't. It's like one of those conservative chain emails. You've probably gotten a million of them. It's supposed to be by a guy who put a bird feeder up in his yard, and all of a sudden the birds were building nests on his roof, and they were defecating all over his porch and making a huge mess, all because of the free food. So he took down the bird feeder. And let's pick up the story from there, shall we? Soon the backyard was like it used to be, quiet, serene, and no one demanding their right to a free meal. Now let's see. Our government gives out free food, subsidized housing, free medical care, and free education, and allows anyone born here to be an automatic citizen. Then the illegals came by the tens of thousands. Suddenly our taxes went up to pay for free services. Small apartments are housing 5 families. You have to wait 6 hours to be seen by an emergency room doctor. Your child's second grade class is behind other schools because over half the class doesn't speak English. Cornflakes now come in a bilingual box. I have to press 1 to hear my bank talk to me in English. And people waving flags other than Old Glory are squawking and screaming in the streets, demanding more rights and free liberties. Just my opinion, but maybe it's time for government to take down the bird feeder. If you agree, pass it on. If not, just continue cleaning up the poop. Right out of the box, this is ludicrous. I myself have a bird feeder out back the kitchen window for over 10 years. Never seen a mess anything like what this guy's supposed to be writing about. Gee, you don't think he could be making this up, do you? I try to think that this isn't the majority conservative opinion, but that gets harder and harder the more of it I see, and as I see it percolate up to the political leaders who would be at the head of this outraged movement. Case in point would be Pennsylvania gubernatorial candidate Tom Corbett, a Republican, naturally, who this past week basically said that the unemployed are unemployed because they're lazy. Quote, the jobs are there, but if we keep extending unemployment, people are just going to sit there. I've literally had construction companies tell me I can't get people to come back to work until they say, well, we'll come back when the unemployment runs out. Here on planet Earth, there are about 5 applicants for every single job in America. Corbett later tried to walk back his comments, but why? The more he attacks the unfortunate, the more votes he's going to get from people like the guy who wrote me the bird story. This is all part of the war on the poor that is being waged by conservatives. It's a battle that's rooted in hatred and resentment and outrage at the certainty that welfare queens, illegal immigrants, and the lazy unemployed are all living the life of Riley on your dime. This sentiment's always been out there, but it's been ratcheted up because of the economic crisis. And as that crisis continues, we're going to see even more of it. But I tell you what, people like the guy that sent me the bird story, they better pray they never wind up on the unemployment line, because if they do, they might encounter the same sort of compassion that they've shown everybody else.
As long as they are protected from the full consequences of being unemployed. What does he mean? They got to starve? You got to go out on the street corner here and hat in hand, give up their homes, put their furniture out on the street, send their kids to the orphanage? Is that what Mr. Tanner means, the full consequences of being unemployed? Maybe starving?